Hello everyone, this is SydDragon here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm actually going to be drawing dragons again, let's go, because one of my favorite YouTubers ever, and the YouTuber who actually inspired me to start my channel way back when, about a year ago now, Miss Dog Liver Likes Doge, had a contest for reaching 20,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel, which is actually such an amazing accomplishment. I think I've been with her since she had 13,000, but I'm not exactly sure. But it's been amazing to see her grow and reach new horizons. And, well, I just want to celebrate this with her and participate in her contest. So, if you've not already heard about it, it is a hybrid design challenge. It's sort of like a dragon sheep challenge, where you just randomly generate the two tribes. So put the tribes all into a wheel and generate them and use them to create your hybrid. So that is what I'm going to be doing in just a moment. And she said if you wanted to enter, you would have to click on the Google form. So of course that form is linked underneath her video if you'd like to enter it as well, which I would highly suggest you doing because it would mean a lot to her if you supported her, I am sure. It'd probably make her day, honestly. And it's always fun to participate in challenges, even if you don't win, because it's amazing to get to see what the other people do. Because there are so many talented artists in this community of ours, and it's just so amazing how a book series, something as simple as some words on a page, can bring so many young people together to create such beautiful things. So without further ado, let's spin the wheel and see what I get. So this is my wheel that I'm going to be using to spin. I just went to wheelofnames.com. I will have a link in the description if you want to go see. But these are all the tribes. I just put them in the same order that they're listed in the Dragon Guide in the book. So without further ado, let's spin to see which tribe I get first. It looks like we've got a Silkwing! Yes, let's go. I love drawing Silkwings, and I don't draw them very often, so that'll be cool. We'll remove it from the list so that we don't have to worry about it anymore. And we'll get a Seawing! So it looks like we're going to be doing a Sea Silk hybrid, sort of like how Dewdrop is. And so, with all of that in mind, my process for designing my dragon and my entry for the contest had officially begun. I first decided what I wanted my dragon to look like. I decided I wanted them to be more like a Silkwing in terms of the body type, be like really tall and lanky and skinny, and have those beautiful Silkwing wings, because I mean, who would want to miss out on those? And also the wonderful little antenna that Silkwings always have. But I also decided that I wanted them to have the Seawing spines and the webbing and the Seawing bioluminescent patterns, because those are also really cool. I decided that I wanted them to have a combination of both Seawing and Silkwing colors. I decided to do blue, light blue for my Seawing colors, as Seawings are traditionally either blue or green, and then I decided to do purple, light purple for my Silkwing colors, because some Silkwings, all Silkwings can be any color of the rainbow, are purple like blue, because I mean blue is purple. I don't know why, maybe his name should just be purple instead, but yeah, blue is purple. So I made my dragon a combination of light blues and light purples, and as I went along, I decided to develop them a backstory, because I mean, who would want an OC without a backstory? Not me. Even though most of my Dragon OCs don't have backstories, because I don't actively write Wings of Fire fanfiction. But this OC I decided to name Periwinkle, and she is a dragonet who lived in the Sea Kingdom after the events of the third arc, leading to the creation of the Silkleaf Kingdom. Her parents flew over to Pyria to start a new life together, and they decided to live in the Kingdom of the Sea, because that is where her father, who was of course the Seawing, was originally from, before he went over to Pantala to meet the mother. And so, Periwinkle was born to an egg hatched near the water. And Periwinkle had a very special ability, though no one knew about it at the time. Periwinkle had a really hard time fitting in with other dragonettes. She was very social, and she loved to talk to other dragonettes. She was very friendly, and she was always kind to them, but no one ever wanted to play with her, because she was so different, and they thought she was weird, and they were still getting used to the idea of all the tribes being together. They didn't really like that. They wanted to go along on their separate ways, like how they did before the wars of Sandweek Succession, and the war that the Pyrians had to get involved in because of the Pantalans. There was a really big Pantalan-Pyrian grudge going on. But Periwinkle, being her own determined little self, and some might say slightly stubborn, was very dedicated to the idea of finding her place in society and proving her worth to all of her fellow dragonettes. So, she thought to herself, what is a way that I can be useful? And she sought out different industries in the Sea Kingdom. Some of them had been growing kelp and stuff like that. Some of them had been gathering shells from the sea banks on the bottom of the ocean floor, and weaving those shells into beautiful necklaces and bracelets and jewelry and stuff like that, and selling those to the richer dragons at the market for a little bit of extra cash. But Periwinkle was not too interested in all of that. She wanted something that could make her special and unique and stand apart from the rest, so others would notice her and think of her in a positive light. She thought to herself, what is something that all dragons need, but no dragons can do, especially efficiently? And so she turned to the one source of food that all sea-wing dragonettes relied on, and that was none other than fish. So, in the early days of Pyria, dragons had been catching fish with either A, their own two claws, B, their mouth, or teeth, alternatively, or C, new forms of technology that they had developed over time, such as fishing spears and harpoons, and all of the like, etc. But all of these required much work and effort, and Periwinkle, being a very smart and intelligent dragon with a very sharp and bright mind, thought to herself, how can I improve the way that dragons are catching fish? And so, she thought about her mother and her abilities as a sea-wing, and thought about how she could weave webs of silk, and thought, maybe Mother can weave me some webs of silk that I can use to create a new invention that'll help me to catch fish. What was this? Fishing nets. Something very small, but something very revolutionary in the large scale of things. So she asked her mother, will you make me some fishing nets? Her mother did make her some fishing nets, and together they went over to the shore and tossed the nets into the water in order to catch fish. But what she noticed was that the water soaked through them and caused them to get all soggy and wet, and all the water quickly destroyed the fishing nets. So the fishing nets were no longer usable. She went, ugh, that's too bad. But there was a way to get around this, because you see, since Periwinkle was indeed a sea-wing, silk-wing hybrid, Periwinkle had silk as well. Periwinkle's silk was actually very much special. She had a very interesting silk ability, sort of like flame silk, but instead of being fiery or resistant to fire, her silk, water silk, was resistant to water. So Periwinkle could produce this silk and place it into the water, but the water would not destroy the silk. In fact, the silk would only become stronger when it was placed into the water. And so, when she placed it into the water, the fish would run straight into the silk, and they would not be able to get out. And so, Periwinkle created the fishing net, the first fishing net that Pyria had ever seen. And so, this fishing net revolutionized the fishing industry and allowed all of the sea-wing dragonettes to collect fish quickly and easily, no seaweed dragonettes would ever starve again with Periwinkle's amazing new invention. And Periwinkle was now famous and well-renowned for her wonderful idea. People loved her and appreciated her, even though she was a hybrid, and even though grudges still existed. Periwinkle used her amazing amounts of influence in order to sway dragonettes to believe that hybrids were okay, and there was really nothing wrong with them. And so, dragons slowly began to become more and more acceptant of hybrids. And that is the story of Periwinkle. And I'm sorry I talked in like a weird voice. That's just how I get when I go like into narrative mode sometimes. I just swap into like a narrator voice. But yeah, I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I hope that y'all enjoyed the story. I had a great time coming up with it. And I hope that if y'all are also fans of Wings of Fire, fellow waffles and waff-tubers, and even if you aren't and you just like drawing dragons, you will consider joining Miss DogLiverLikesDoja's contest, because she is a very amazing YouTuber and I do love her very much. So I'm sure that she would appreciate it, and it would make her whole entire day better if you participated in her contest and submitted an entry. So you can do that by going to her video, which I will have linked down below, and in her video there is a Google form for you to submit your entry. And I hope that y'all all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Always remember that I love you. Goodbye!